Mr. Benson, one of the things that's most frustrating to people who do audit work is when they do a report and then they come back and they do another report and the things they reported on the first one don't appear to have been fixed. That's a waste of money for the taxpayers who are paying the folks at GAO. Because if they produce a product and nobody pays any attention to it, that's the same as all those hours of work just basically going up in smoke. 2 years later, after there were 9 recommendations, GAO is indicating that on 7 of the 9 recommendations, they had not been fulfilled. Let's talk about that. Give me your best excuse as to why you need longer than 2 years to do something as basic as criteria for negative certification. Why would that not get fixed in 2 years? That's pretty basic to paying attention to the money going out the door.
Ma'am, I agree. And I don't want to make excuses. We took actions as a result of the original GAO findings. GAO came back and said, well, what we did was not sufficient. So this time we want to get it right.
Because of all of the things that must occur as it relates to our Medicare program over the coming years, there's going to be a lot of scrutiny on your agency. I cannot stress enough that a very basic would be getting the GAO stuff done. You talk about cranky. If this GAO stuff doesn't get done, like immediately, it's a real problem. Well, let me just say that a per-call cost for a Medicare hotline, doesn't seem to pass the common sense test to me. You're going to have to hire so many people to man the hotline, whether the phone's ringing or not. And it seems to me you ought to be able to resource a hotline with sufficient folks and set a price for that and get some bids and do it on fixed price. I've watched so many contracts get out of control when it's cost incurred, cost plus. And the incentives are on the wrong side of the table. They're not on the taxpayer side of the table. They're on the contractor side of the table. There was a company called Palmetto GBA. You awarded a cost reimbursement contract to them despite the contracting officer's knowledge that this contractor had an inadequate accounting system. So this is what I was just discussing, except it's even worse. Because not only are you giving them cost plus, cost incurred, you're giving it to a contractor that you already know doesn't have an appropriate accounting system to keep track of what they should be charging you. Why would that occur? Why would a contracting officer give a contract to a company when you knew they had inadequate accounting in order to document what we owe them?
That should not occur, ma'am.
Okay. I think we agree on that. Is the contracting officer that did that, have they been disciplined? Have they been held accountable?
They have not been disciplined. We have done internal training to reinforce to all our contracting officers the FAR requirement that a contractor have an approved accounting system.
Well, I think one of the things that is going to have to start happening, if things have been this loosey-goosey over there, that you're awarding cost-incurred contracts to people who don't have an approved accounting system, and you've got 8 out of 100 invoices that have been certified when 100% should be certified, I think just saying to people, we really mean it this time, you may take more than that. You may have to, as somebody who's managing this effort, you may have to say to these employees, you're going to be disciplined